Hi, I'm Christy Clover and welcome to my schoolroom. We are getting ready to start off our 2015-2016 school year. Yay! So excited! But I wanted to share with you the different books that we're going to be using this year in our schooling and all the different curriculum, right? Everybody loves curriculum. So let me share the curriculum that we're going to be using, a little bit about how we're going to be using it. If you missed my video about how to plan out your year using a course of study, make sure you see that. I will link it above. But until then, get ready because here it comes. I guess I should mention that I have 5 kiddos, and so we have a 7th grader, 6th grader, 1st grader, 4-year-old who's going to be doing preschool, and a 2-year-old. Woohoo! Hard, fun times with the 2-year-old in the homeschool room. In fact, that is one of the workshops that I give, is homeschooling with littles when you have big kids that you need to get homeschooling done with. And I always tell people that 18 months to about 2.5 is some of the hardest times to homeschool with. So we have fun times ahead of us this year, but I have completely organized for my 2-year-old as well, so I'm prepped and ready. But I actually have a blog post all about that. It's called I is for Incorporating Your Littles into Your Homeschool Fun. And so you can check that out and see some of the different tips that I use for how to manage that hard time frame. But those are my grade levels, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you what we're using this year. So here is everything. Got all the books ready to go where they need to go. I sorted everything by student, and now is the point where I start ripping things apart and getting set for the school year. And I know that sounds funny to rip apart, but I do. I take apart all of the workbooks and worksheets, anything that is a daily item that they need to do, and I plug it into my little system that I will show you in the next video. I need to come up with a better name for it. Right now it's the bin. It's the bin with the folders in it, but I will show you all about that. So first, let's show you my wonderful, wonderful, sweet, sweet friend gave me all of her Sunlight books. So look at this, Sunlight books plus all of her Sunlight books on U.S. history. So this year we are learning U.S. history. We will not read all of these books. That is just absolutely impossible. But I will mix it up and try to find the appropriate books for the appropriate student to read and which ones will be read aloud. We're not really going to be following Sunlight per se, but we are going to be using a lot of their books. We have used My Father's World in the past, but this year we're going to kind of create our own way of doing things. One of the things that I am going to be using to organize our history is this amazing series called History Revealed by Diane Waring. I hope I'm saying her name right. Yep, Diana Waring. There we go. So we are on her second set of books, Romans, Reformers, and Revolutionaries. So this is, we've already done Rome, we've already done Reformation, and we are on to the revolutions. She has a great way of organizing things. She breaks everything down to feelers, intuitors, thinkers, and sensory. So she really teaches to all 4 styles of learning. And so this book has lots of great ideas on how to get the information to stick. So that's one of the reasons I'm going to be using this as a reference to move forward with our history for this year. And I would be in trouble if I didn't mention this. This is my new find. Super excited about this. Prayers That Changed History by Tricia Goyer. This book is my new favorite book. I am telling you, it's so cool. Tricia did an amazing job of going through, and what I love the best, not only does she go through and list all the prayers out, but she listed all the dates. I love timelines. Love them, love them. So as we hit the different points in history, we're going to be reading through how these influential people and the prayers that they prayed and just how their lives impacted us today. So awesome, awesome book. Make sure you check this out. We're going to take a look at language arts. Now I'm a big fan of IEW, which is Institute for Excellence in Writing. We use a lot of their programs for all the various, aspects of language arts. Language arts isn't just one subject. You've got writing and spelling and vocabulary and grammar, as well as penmanship. You've got all different aspects of language arts, and we tend to use IEW for many of them. So I'll go ahead and walk you through and show you the different items that we have. First up, we have their writing program. This year we're going to be doing the medieval based writing program. We love all things in IEW that are by Lori V. I butcher her name every time I try to say it, but Lori V is amazing. She's got great stuff. The kids are always engaged and really enjoy their writing program. We also will be doing the phonetic zoo for spelling for my 7th grader as well as my 6th grader. They're in different stages of the different levels. One is in A, one is in C, but we love it, and I love it because it actually encourages independent spelling. I love independent work, things that my kids can do on their own, because what's important is for my older kids, when they can do things on their own, they're not waiting for me as I'm busying myself with the little kids and trying to teach my pre-readers, because that's really one of the hardest stages, and when you've got those pre-readers. So going to be doing the phonetic zoo for spelling. My youngest son for kindergarten is going to be doing the All About Spelling program. This program is also really excellent. It's perfect for his age and for what he is able to do, because they actually have really fun letter tiles, which I'll show you.
About All About Spelling is it's very tactile, it's very hands-on. They're spelling words out with these magnetic little boards. You just get a magnetic whiteboard and put all the letters up here. You'll see that I actually prepped the board and I have capital letters, so he is able to go through and match capital and lowercase to get things reorganized as he's done with each step. But really love this aspect of All About Spelling.
Okay, next up is grammar. Grammar, we're actually doing 2 different grammar programs this year. My oldest son has kind of graduated out of his penmanship, and so we're switching over to Fix-It Grammar because they have an element of penmanship in it, in that they have to edit sentences, and then once the sentences are edited, then he has to write them correctly and properly and nicely and neatly on a spiral-bound notebook. And it's a great way to have just nice penmanship throughout the entire thing. So again, he's not doing any formal penmanship, which does lead me to the fact that for penmanship we do a reason for handwriting. Love, love, love that program. I love that their final test or the last day of work is writing out a piece of scripture. So my 6th grader and my 1st grader will be doing that for their penmanship. But for my 6th grader, he will be doing Growing with Grammar. It's a great grammar program. Again, I love it because it's independent. It allows him to do his grammar work on his own without having to wait for me. We just found that through the years, they were always waiting for me to get to grammar with them and waiting for me to do spelling with them. So by finding curriculum that they have their own set of instructions or videos like Math-U-See, which we'll get to, that they're able to get more done and they're not waiting on me because I'm chasing little kids and trying to help pre-readers. So a lot of times it really is important to help your kids find curriculum that they can get through smoothly on their own. Well, I might as well talk about math since we were just mentioning it. But for math, we use Math-U-See. So my 7th grader, 6th grader, and 1st grader are all doing Math-U-See in various stages, because language arts and math are the 2 parts of education, or the 2 subjects that go sequentially. You can't really teach your kid division before you've taught them addition. And you can't really teach your child to read until they've mastered some of the basics like phonics, or even like writing up a story, until they actually know how to form a letter. So they have to be taught sequentially. So those are the subjects that we don't necessarily teach together. Sometimes there's elements where if we're doing a project, I might have my older students do a little bit more, so they might write a report on something, like a 3-paragraph report. So my 7th and 6th grader can write a report on something where I would only have my 1st grader write like a sentence, and it would probably be copy work. Or I would have him dictate it and I would write it down, and then he would do his neat penmanship on a separate piece of paper. So again, that's how language arts and math kind of work, and that's kind of my theory with that, is that you need to, not theory, it's actually fact, is that you need to go sequentially in that. But for math, again, we love Math-U-See. What I love is that Mr. Demi does a wonderful job of having a DVD instruction, and then the kids can work on their own doing their day-to-day worksheets. Now, when they do need help, of course, they come to me. And so we'll sit down, we'll go through the teacher's book together. I'll watch, sometimes I have had to watch the DVD in order to remember, like multiplying fractions. That's not something I use every day. So that is sometimes, there are aspects of math that are difficult. And so we'll, I'll find people who know things that I don't remember. So, we're getting into some of the harder math with my 7th grader, and because he's already in algebra. And so next year is actually, he's going to probably be starting his geometry book this year, which is a little frightening for me because I don't remember all the geometry and all of those different things. So Good thing my husband remembers them. If not, then you probably know someone. This is my tip. So if you, a lot of people are scared of homeschooling. They're like, oh no, my kids are gonna, what do they get, when do they get to things that I don't understand or I don't remember? That's okay. You find people in your life who do know. You probably know an engineer who can help you with math, or you might know a doctor, or you can ask a doctor, at your next visit about something if you had a question in that field. So find people in your life who are good at what they do, who have mastered these things, and enlist their help and ask them the questions that you have.
Almost forgot to share with you the program that we're using for my first grader. He started this program. This is the Primary Arts of Language, both reading and writing. It's by IEW, Institute for Excellence in Writing, and it's wonderful. It's a K through second program. So we started it last year, got as far as we could. Again, I didn't want to overwhelm him. I want him to have a wonderful experience learning how to read and write, and these programs are just so much fun. They actually have this fun kit that you put together with some of their, they have printables, and so you print them out and then you make these little binders, and I'll show you this one. It's so cute. This is mugs, and you make these bones as you go along, and you feed mugs as you say the words and review them. So they're a bunch of fun games that reinforce everything that you are learning. They also have the phonetic farm, and the phonetic farm is great because it goes through and again reinforces things. So you learn about the of turkey, the of horse, and then you have a silo. So all of these words say O, and they give sample words as well. And then you add stickers as you go. Extra books I thought I'd go ahead and mention is that for my preschooler, I am totally opposed to doing set curriculum for preschoolers. I get her fun little books that she can work on. I don't care if she gets it right. I am just trying to show her fun ways to learn, and just that learning is fun. I call it sneaky school, so she can feel like she's doing what we're doing as well. But one book that is really fun, my friend Karen Fernandez actually wrote this book. It's called ABC Trace and Say, and it's a great book, and it goes through, shows your student how to actually say the word, and it's actually textured so they can feel as they're writing and forming their letters. So great book. Highly recommend it. Another one that I wanted to go ahead and give a little shout out to is A Look Inside America. This is by Bill Perry, and what I love about it is it actually starts at Labor Day, since that's about when you start your school year, and it goes through and gives the history as well as fun things to do for each holiday.
Okay, let's talk science. Yay! I love science. I was a science major, little known fact about me, but I love science. And this year I'm going to be teaching at our co-op. I'm going to be teaching Apologia's Swimming Creatures for my first grader and my sixth grader. So they'll be doing science together, which is awesome. I love teaching to all of my kids at once. Now the reason my seventh graders are involved, because part of Apologia is that they have kind of a junior high and high school track. So he is on that track doing his own independent work. He's going to be doing, he did general science last year. He's doing physical science this year. So he'll be doing all of his own reading, all of his own book work. So they have a notebook that they'll go through. And at the co-op, they'll do the experiments together and review some of the work that they did that week in their notebooks as well. But for Swimming Creatures, I'm really excited. Now, a couple things to know about Apologia. Apologia can be a little overwhelming if you have never done it before. They cram pack a lot of information, a lot of details, which are awesome, but you don't have to remember or teach your child every aspect of it. That's really important to know, because I think your kids can get really overwhelmed if you're not careful with Apologia. So they have a notebook, and know that the notebook, you don't have to do everything in the notebook. They designed the notebook to really hit all the different interest levels for kids. So don't try to do everything in the notebook like I did my first time doing Apologia. Totally stressed myself out, stressed my kids out. It was just overwhelming. So don't do that. Just pick things that your kids are interested in. Figure out which sheets are most important to you to kind of, reinforce what your kids were learning from the reading that week. But that is what my tip would be. Now, I do want to make a shout out to Answers in Genesis. They have an awesome science program, God's Design for Science. So good. Love their program. Just because I'm teaching the class at the co-op, I'm probably not going to do as much incorporating in that, but that's typically what I would use. I'd read some Apologia, and then I would also flip over to Answers in Genesis, and we probably will use some of them in our own home, but I won't for my class, because otherwise I'll just overwhelm everybody. But I love those science books. So those are what we're doing. Apologia with a little bit of Answers in Genesis as well. Okay, last and definitely not least is Bible. Bible. We have a new Bible curriculum this year. I'm really excited about it. It's Apologia's What We Believe series. We're going to be starting with their first book, which is Who is God? And I cannot tell you how many great things I have heard about this Bible curriculum, which is why we're starting it this year. And so my 7th, 6th, first grader, and my preschooler will all be doing it with me. They even have a coloring book so my daughters can color along and listen in on all the things that we'll be reading about. But it looks like a really great program. I cannot wait to start it. So there you have it. That is what we're going to be doing this year. All the fun curriculum that we're going to be going through. I am super excited about it. My kids are even getting excited about it as they see all the books coming in. It's kind of like Christmas around here when you get all the new homeschool information or books and all that good stuff. So they even like it when they get their little binders that I'm going to create for them. So coming up next after this video, as promised to all of you YouTubers and Periscopers and everyone who follows me on all the different social media, I am doing all of my how to organize your homeschool and how to organize for your homeschool year, because you know what? I've got to get on top of it. So I've taken this summer to work on all different kinds of homeschool workshops that I've been doing at various places, but now I am ready to focus and show you how I organize everything, because I have to start organizing everything. See, it's all laid out here on the floor, and now I've got to do something with it. So look forward to those. So thank you for watching this. My name again is Christy Clover, and I blog at raisingclovers.com. I would love to have you come over and subscribe and see what we're doing over there. I love helping families. My tagline on my blog, as well as here on YouTube, is simple solutions for a more joy-filled life. So please subscribe here to the YouTube channel and check out Raising Clovers, the blog, as well. And if you are not on Periscope, you should be. And I typically Periscope on Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, and that is Pacific Standard Time. I guess it's PDT now. So, but I'm old school, so Pacific Standard Time, that's where I'll be. So we're here in California. But I hope that you'll join me in all those different areas, and we look forward to meeting up and connecting soon. So take care and God bless.